So I'll be going to the question from number 1 to the end. So number 1 says, which quantity is a vector quantity? So this is direct answer. So this is scalar. So this one means, so I will just use the symbol to represent that this one means a scalar. Scalar is a scalar. So this is a vector. So the answer is C. So vector, the answer is C. Number 2. For students A, B, C, and D have completed an experiment to determine the hash rate of free for G. Each student repeated the experiment 3 times. Determine the values of G. Okay, the determined values of G's are indicated in the table below. So which set of results has higher precision and lower accuracy? This one being higher being precise and lower accurate. So now the first of all is accuracy has to do with systematic error. Precision has to do with random error. So how do we calculate the accuracy, which is systematic error? We'll find the average. So accuracy has to do this. Accuracy has to do with finding the average. This one is with range. Find the range. That's how to know. So we find the average, we find the range. To now know which one has the lowest range, that is the most precise. So accuracy means that the one that is close to the actual value. The actual value of G is 9.81. That's actual value of G. So when we find the halfway and compare with 9.81, which one is closest to 9.81? That's the most accurate. So by the time we find the average, which one is the least average? The range. The least range means the highest is being precise. So the smaller the range, the higher the precision. So that's the language. So if you look at, you find the range, look at the lowest range. That means the highest. When talking about being precise, is most precise one. So the higher the one that is having the higher range means the lowest or the least precise. So the average, the one that is close to the actual value of G, that is the most accurate. Now we are looking for most precise and the least accurate. That's another language of putting it. So we are looking for most precise and the least accurate. So if you look at it, so if you go by this method, so I have the range. Let me have a table here. Let's do the table. Okay, let me complete this table like this. So this is this, and this is this. So here, let me say this is average. So let's complete this table by say this is average, and this is range. If that be the case, looking for average means that I'm adding it together. That's 7.2 in the calculator. I just want to do everything here. 7.2, then plus 9.4, 9.4 plus 8, 8.3. So divided by 3 as the average. So it's giving me 8 point. This is 8.3. So automatically it's far from the, it might be the lowest, the least. It's the least accurate, very low accurate. But let's look at the range of it. So the range means that's 9.4, 9.4 minus 7.2, 7.2. So this is, so this is 2.2. Now going by the B, 9.5, 9.5 plus 9.8 10.2. So it gave me 9.8 as the average. 9.83. 9.83 is here. So I can put 0 here. This is, oh, okay, I've written where I'm not supposed to somewhere else. Okay. 8.3 and 2.2. This is supposed to be here. 8.3, then 2.2. So this is giving me 9.83. So the range is the highest minus lower, which is 10.2 minus 9.5 is 0.7. So third one, 9.8. So this 9, the same thing, 9.83 as well. So this will give me 0.1 because 9.8 minus 9.9, that's 0.1. So this is going to give me automatically 10 point something. So this is 10.1. This is 10.1. Sorry. So I think the range is also give me 0.1 here. Yeah, that will give me 0.1. That will give me the range. Now, to look at which one is the correct answer. So we are looking at more precise but less accurate. More precise and less accurate. Let's talk about accurate one. The most accurate one is this. When you talk about accurate one, this idea will take, let me put this. This is going to take first. This also will take first because they are closer to 9.8. So this will take second. That will take third position. That's time accuracy. In terms of range, that is being precise in the lowest range, this will take first one. So this will take second, that will be the third. So I have positioned than that. So the position of this one, that means B and C, they are the most accurate. B and C most accurate. And at this, in fact, so the meaning of this is that if I was to interpret this, D option D here is saying that most precise and less accurate. So that'll be A. A is the least accurate, accurate, but it's also the least precise. You are looking for most precise and least accurate. So option D is saying, or let me start from A. A is saying least accurate and least precise. A. Option B is saying most accurate, most accurate, but precise. It's also good precise, but not as the most precise. It's also precise because it's number 2. Option C is saying most accurate and most precise. So you should know the next time you have a question like that, you are looking for most accurate and most precise. So that will be C. But in this case now, the best option is D. Why? Because D is the most precise as the least range, and it's also a go for low accuracy. Although it's not the lowest accurate, the lower accurate is this, but it's not precise. So we cannot go for option A. So D is the answer. Now we move on to number 3. We want to calculate uncertainty. Okay. Ball. I think ball should a bit of a ball. Yeah. A ball should take the volume of a sphere, which is 4/3 by r cube. That's one of a ball. Now that's the volume. So we want to now uncertainty constants do not count. So I want to take volume as now remove all the constants. That will this over 3. Average over 3. You have uncertainty. Now we are giving diameter. So diameter is what? So diameter, in terms of diameter, that will give me what? 2, diameter is going to give in terms of d over 2 square. Because we know that 2d is equal to what? Stuff from there we can calculate diameter. So we follow that. So I'm going to have d, okay, 3 d cube over 1, that's 8. So that's uncertainty. Now, uncertainty as well, we don't need the constant. So I will remove the constant that I have there with d power cube. So with that, okay, so with this, I can now write a formula to calculate uncertainty. So uncertainty in volume over volume is equal to 3 uncertainty in d over d. So meaning that my uncertainty in volume is 3v uncertainty in d over d. We don't know the volume, don't need to I don't need to calculate it, I can put everything at once. So return volume now. So putting the volume is that uncertainty in volume. So if I'm to put, so to say the volume now, that uncertainty in volume means 3. Instead of v, I'm going to write 4 over 3. So pi, oh, I'm not going to have r as well. I'm going to have, that's d, that will give me 8. D, that will give you d cube over 8. Because if you substitute that, you can discover that radius will give you that. So that was volume. Now we have uncertainty. Instead of me doing one after the other, I can calculate everything at once together. So if that be the case, let's see if everything will work like that. So 4 here will go. This is 2. 3 will go. So I'm going to have d will take this, I have this to square. So eventually I'm going to have this. So 4 here, I have 2 here. So that will give me pi over 2. That will be d squared. So I think that's all. So let's put the value there and let's see what it gives. Now that will give me, for uncertainty in volume should give me pi 3.142 over 2 times diameter. This is actual diameter. Okay, still remain uncertainty rather. The uncertainty. So the actual diameter is 5.26. Let me try to manage this place. So the volume give me 5. Okay, I will press this on directly over 2. Dot means times 5 point, or let me change it to 5.26 times is 0.02. So let's see that what that will give in calculator. So pressing calculator gave 0.87. So the option D B will go.
A lot and you're like, okay, do you have a private tuition? Don't you have? Do you have? And yes, Ajiro Tech do have a private tuition. So by my right, you can see that we have for the EdExcel and Cambridge IGCSE. And yes, we do have for all subjects. Okay, all subjects. Okay, the popular ones that's always been in demand is mathematics, English language as a second language. Okay, we have physics, we have biology, we have chemistry, and we have um, you know the flagship, which is ICT, just here and there. We also have business studies. So if you're interested for a private tuition, um, I think all you have to do is send an email to the sales team at agiletech@gmail.com, and they would reply to you, talk about your time zone, talk about, and the fee is really quite affordable. Really, it's really quite affordable. It's when you look at it across other tutoring service, I think this is the one that's quite affordable, and you get the very best of service. We also have for the E levels as well, um, and also for the EdExcel. So we have for the Cambridge E levels and EdExcel E levels. Okay, and we have also across the subject mathematics, which is usually the hot cake when it comes to E level mathematics and chemistry, and then biology. These are usually one of the ones we have in demand always, all the time. Even physics, for E level. So all you have to do, if you're watching this right now and you are interested for a private tuition, then you can do yourself a solid, okay, and send an email to the sales team at agile@gmail.com, and they'll reply to you.
Number four, two factors are illustrated below. So we want to know what happened to y plus x plus y and x minus y. So to get plus, very simple thing. So we have this and we have this. So we have the arrow for this is x, this is y. So close it here. Because I can see the option and both of them in horizontal. So I have to use horizontal line to close it. So closing this. This is going to be this. Yeah, closing this will be this. So what will happen here? This is what? This is a factor that should be resultant first because you can see the arrow that when it says sum now, there will be one that's opposing the other. Look at this. This is coming this way. Look at my pen, this. But this is trying to oppose the two, the movement of the two. That means there's a resultant factor. That will give me x plus y. So x plus y is that. So it can never be this because this is a resultant factor. This sum up together, that means a resultant factor when you're summing together. So it can never be towards left. So C and D, the heart of the point. So we are left with A and B. So when we want to talk of this one now, look at the second part. It's also a vertical line. How do I draw a vertical line for this to make it? Let's see what to do. Okay. Now I want to make it minus. This line that is plus, if I want to make it minus, it will be like this. The arrow will change. So that will be minus. It will change direction because yeah, that's going to be the negative. Now if I want to follow that, so that means I can have this. I mean, I can have this. I can have this. So this is now minus y, the opposite of y, minus y. This still remain my x according to the question. We didn't change it. So blocking it now. So if I'm blocking it, you just want to block it. So it's going to be this as well. Now, how are we going to want to form? We're adding it together as well. For me to add it together, the arrow must not be downward. For me to add it together, the arrow must not be downward. Because if it's downwards, like if the arrow is, let's say for instance, the arrow is downward, it means there's no resultant force. like this, it means all of them are following each other. Look at resultant first. It means that yx minus 1 must equal to 0. That's what it means. But it did not indicate that it's 0. You just have y minus y. No, it must not be. So let me see. The arrow has to be up. Now you can see now this is now x. This means of this is x plus minus y. That's what it means. So x minus y. So that means there's a resultant form. That means this one is trying to oppose other two. So the option should be P. Question 5. A body is projected vertically downwards with, this is straight. So that means it's supposed to be 0 first. But according to the question, now u is not 0. So that means we have the value of u here. Here resident negligible. So what's the displacement? They have just vertical heights. I think we can make use of this. ut plus going to be plus gt square over 2. So solving that one, going to give me this 20 1.5 plus 9.8 1.5 squared over 2. So let's wait. Calculator gives in calculator that gives us in calculator it gives 41. So option D. Choose a surveyor decides, okay, defies emit a pulse of light. As long as light, that's the speed of light. If you need the speed, which is 3 exponential 8, I have 3 exponential for the speed of light from a reflector away. Okay, what's the total time taken to pulse? For instance, let's say it travels like this from here. So the next also comes back. So the distance is going to be twice. It moves twice. Now speed, that will be 2 distance, something like an echo over time. So we're looking for time. So t is now 2 times 150, then over 3, because it's the speed of light. What does that one give? So that give 1 exponential minus 6. So 1 exponential minus 6 means just 1 microseconds. I'm sorry, a microsecond, yeah. The question from uniformly from what accelerated motion of a wave can be derived from what gradient of velocity time graph. Okay, we have a time graph. So here you can't start from 0. Why? Because I can see u here. So it has to be something like the v. This is a u part. This the time here is t. So it's going to be a trapeze. That's a gradient. If I'm looking for gradient now, that it is. Gradient is going to give me gradient now is what? Acceleration. Velocity against time. That's what? Acceleration. That will give me v minus u over t. So automatically it's going to give me v minus u is equal to at. So v is equal to u plus at. So this is what we can derive from that. Number 8. An object is projected horizontally from a table. Time is equal to 0. The object falls the vacuum of gravitational air resident negligible. What does that mean? Air resistance affects acceleration and resultant force. So the more the air resistance, the more the velocity. But now being negligible means it's not there. So we can say velocity is constant. So it means velocity is constant. Means we can never have acceleration. Sorry, no, nothing affects acceleration without. Yeah, nothing will affect it. So it's not going to increase or decrease. So that will really remain constant because that velocity that remains, that air resistance. So negligible air resistance, that will actually means that G is constant. The gravity is constant. Yeah, that's what it means. So that means, and at the same time, horizontally, there is no effect of gravity. Horizontally, when you consider horizontal movement, no, because gravity does not act horizontally. So no effect of gravity horizontally. Gravity acts vertically. And velocity, air resistance being negligible means that gravity is constant. Nothing affects gravity because air resistance affects acceleration and resultant force. So let's look at the graph that shows horizontal one must be no effect in horizontal. So in horizontal component now, no effect on the horizontal. And at the same time, speed has to be, talking about speed, speed has to be constant. The P has to be, the speed must be constant, right? Because the air resistance, if it increases, velocity also increases. If air resistance is decreasing, velocity also is decreasing. If it's constant, velocity is constant. But at the same time, if it's not, it's negligible. So that means velocity remains constant. It does not increase, does not decrease. So going by that, let's look at option D first. So going by that, let's look at option D. Option D say this moment velocity is decreasing. It's not possible. S of it is saying there is an increasing acceleration. No, it can never increase because velocity does not. If it can only increase if air resistance is not negligible and air resistance decreases, so acceleration will increase because air resistance, yeah, especially when an object is coming down. When an object is coming down, projected, yeah, of course, it's going to come down. So it's not. So let's look at C2. Horizontal one is saying horizontal is constant. So it's not C saying it's not C as well because the horizontal have to be constant. So this is correct. This is correct for horizontal. Q for horizontal is correct. So A and B now correct. Now under the P means the gradient of Q zero gradient, zero acceleration is not possible. So L is what constant gradient, that's constant acceleration. So A will be the answer. Now this is just straightforward. What is conserved in kinetic energy in elastic? That's kinetic energy. You know kinetic energy. So velocity is no kinetic energy. That's all. Now we have a fireworks vertically up. It's a firework travel vertically upwards in air. The gases are pulled vertically downwards from the fireworks. Yeah. The thrust, number one, when this is just a Newton third law, the thrust must produce equal and opposite for which is going to be what? The exhaust from the engine. That represents the gas here. That should be the what? The exhaust from the engine. It's not the weight. It is the weight is naturally downward. Thrust. And number one, the air resistance means that when it's going upward, it's not the one produced by thrust. Thrust, let's say it's an engine now, car, the thrust of the engine. So when the car produces a force called thrust, there will be an equal and opposite force called the exhaust of the gas coming out of the car, of the airplane coming out. That represents the third, the second, that represents an equal and opposite force. Now, it's not weight, it's not air resistance because weight is acting downward normally. It's not produced by thrust. Thrust produces the exhaust of the gas, which is this. So it's still with thrust and yeah, thrust and the force on the yeah. Forces of the forces of the what am I saying? Okay, forces of the gas and thrust. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. I chose wrong answer. So I said what I said was different from what I chose. Now we have two blocks. K and L are okay, slide towards each other along the horizontal friction surface. The diagram illustrated the momentum of the two blocks. Now don't forget that move arrow to the left is negative, to the right is positive. Now, during the collision, the blocks are in constant for this. After the collision, the blocks separate and the blocks separate. They didn't, okay, and L moves back. So L now moves back. So this is L. Moving back is going to be like this with 0.12. That's 0.1. That's not possible. Now we want to look at the first. Now we can also calculate the magnitude of average for exerted by what? Exerted on block L by K. By block K. The same thing. The force exerted by K on L is equal and opposite to the force exerted by L on K. So we can only use the L to calculate it. L because L we have the initial and the final. For the K, we don't have the final one, so we can't calculate any momentum. So let's go by that. Now, initial one for L, that's a U of that one is negative. Why? Because to the left is 0.46. Then final of that one is 0.12. Change in momentum, that will give me M, that will V minus U. So putting that into, oh, it's even change the momentum straight. So they've already, so this is MU, this is going to give me MV straight because it's converted to change momentum. So I'm going to have MV minus MU. We're looking for force change momentum. So force, we can now give a change momentum over time, which is, this is M, that's 0.12 minus is 0.46 over 0.084. So we could calculate now. So calculator gave 6.9. So Leonardo Finzi that proposed, okay, flying machine that will work like a script to lead the pilots into the air. This skill is illustrated by this. The machine has a pilot. We have the total weight, total mass of this. Okay, the way asked down vertically. They are asking for useful output power. So in this case, power is going to give me force multiplied by work velocity. So force, the only force we can use here is the weight. So that will give me mg weight. So 1 multiplied by 9.81 times the velocity, 2.5. So I will have a calculator. That's 2943. So approximately to 2 go. Okay, should be D. That will be 2907. Which will describe the forces of couple. Couple must be, forces must be what? Equal in magnitude, opposite in direction, separated by distance, just like this. Separated by distance, equal magnitude and opposite. So direction must be opposite, must be equal. So it should be T, B rather. The uniform cylinder of weight is 25 is suspended from a newton-meter. Cylinder is fully submerged in water as illustrated. The reading in when it's water, the reading it is 10 newton. Now the water is replaced by liquid of with density greater than that of water. You can just assume water is 1,000. You can just the simpler one. Assume that density is 1. Just let us go. So the new density for the liquid. So density of liquid is so I've chosen greater than that of the water. So I've chosen 1 as in gram something. So that would plus 10 over 10, 100. That should give me 1.1. That should give me 1.1. The density in terms of this now, the density of the liquid. Now, remember the weight act down. The radius of this one is acting upwards, which is called what they call the value here. 10. The weight acts downward as 25. So the difference, that will be 25 minus 10. That will give me 15. 15. So that will be different in the weight. So what's the 1% of 15? Of 15? 1.1, 1.1 of 15. 16.5. So the difference now, so 25 minus 16.5. 8.5. That's 8.5.
A lot, and you're like, okay, do you have a private tuition? Don't you have? Do you have? And yes, Ajiro Tech do have a private tuition. So by my right, you can see that we have for the EdExcel and Cambridge IGCSE, and yes, we do have for all subjects. Okay, all subjects. Okay, the popular ones that's always been in demand is mathematics, English language as a second language. Okay, we have physics, we have biology, we have chemistry, and we have um, you know the flagship, which is ICT, just here and there. We also have business studies. So if you're interested for a private tuition, I think all you have to do is send an email to the sales team at ajirotech@gmail.com, and they would reply to you, talk about your time zone, talk about, and the fees really quite affordable. Really, it's really quite affordable. It's when you look at it across other tutoring service, I think this is the one that's quite affordable, and you get the very best of service. We also have for the E levels as well, um, and also for the EdExcel. So we have for the Cambridge E levels and EdExcel E levels. Okay, and we have also across the subject mathematics, which is usually the hot cake when it comes to E level, mathematics and chemistry, and then biology. These are usually one of the ones we have in demand always, all the time. Even physics, for E level. So all you have to do, if you're watching this right now and you are interested for a private tuition, then you can do yourself a solid, okay, and send an email to the sales team at agile@gmail.com, and they'll reply to you.
Here is the moment. You want to take moment here. Question 15 says a student balances the 30 centimeter ruler on the fulcrum set at 15 centimeter mark. Okay, this 15 centimeter mark. If 15, that means from here to here should give me 4. Which is 15, yeah. Now from here to here will give me 8. 15 minus 7, that's 8. That means from here to here will give me 15 minus 20, that's also 8. I think that's all. So what will be the mass of this? It acts downward, but so I call it this one is 20 and this one is of 50. So we are taking moment at that, take moment at the fulcrum. This one will turn towards fulcrum. This also will turn like this. This also will turn like this. So we know clockwise and anti-clockwise moments now. So let's talk of these two. That is distance, that's 8m. You don't need to convert, but both of them are the same gram. 8m plus 20 times what the distance for is equal to 50 times what 8. So this will give me 80, then 400, right? So that will give me m will give me 400 minus 80 over 8. That is 40 gram. A student is at a submarine is at a depth of 130 meters below the surface. Okay, so below the surface now. This is this at this place 130. No, so the period is P. So 130 correspond to the first period P. Now I think the second one now is go further to now below the surface again. That's 260, another 130. So we are looking for the P pressure of this one. So then before we find the difference, what's the difference? Then we know that this is what the formula that says P is equal to rho GH. Rho and G the constants, same liquid. So I can just say T is varied as what? The depth. That means P1 over P1 over H1 is equal to P2 over H2. So looking for P2 now. P2 will give me P2 automatically. P1 is P at 2. Okay, total that's added from the survey below. That's times 260, then over 130. That will give me 2P. The difference now, therefore difference is 2P minus P, which is that's P. So the answer should be saying P. The object for an object is falling in a uniform gravitational field. So which quantity has that's mgh. So it can also begin as weight h. So no waste our time, no mass and no weight, and we are talking about two weights and height. So weight and height will go weight and the change in vertical height. That's all. Now the position XYZ on a rough horizontal surface, a box peel is posed across the surface from X to Y and then to Z. So you follow this track and this track. That's for P. Now we have the work done, other thing given. So the work done against the resistance we just, so what we have there, the work done, frictional force moving along the Z, Y to Z straight. Okay, Y to Z, we have the work done. Okay, added and a quantity, an identical plus Q is posed. Okay, from this, so this just straight from here to here. This, so that's point Q following this. Let's look at the first. See the same force. Let's find the force first to know what will happen first. So let's along X to Y. So what happened? Work done the first time distance, we have that work done, which is energy loss there. Frictional for that's 150. Yeah, that was 150. Pause. The distance is 3. So F is going to give me 50. Now, we want to look at the distance alone. Let's look at distance from Y to Z. So what's with the distance? We have this, we have work there. That's 200. Y to Z is 200 work joules. Force 50. The distance, call it X. So S is going to give me 4 meter. So we've gotten that one. So we now have this, a triangle. This is 3. This is 4. Automatically going to give me 5. Do it. They call it Pythagoras triplet. So it's going to give you 5. I can call it Y. So Y will give me square root of 4 square plus 3 square, which is 5. So it's going to give me 5. Now, the same force. So what's now the work done directly from X to Z? So that will give me 5 times 50. That's 250. 250 joules or what? Now, what's the difference between the parts now? For P, total work done there is 150 plus 200. That's a 350. Q, the work done there is 250. So what's the difference? The difference is 100. So the difference is 100. So that should be here. Difference is 100. Now momentum is of a car. The momentum of a car of mass, this increase from P to this. So how do I calculate? This is the formula that converts momentum to kinetic energy. P square over 2m. That's the momentum. P is the momentum equal kinetic energy. That's the formula. So from this, that will be change. Change in EK now is going to give me, that's an increase. Final minus. That will give me P2 square over 2m minus P1 square over 2m. So you can factor 2m out. So that will give me 1 over, that will give me P2 square minus P1 square everything over 2m. So the head. The parachutist is falling at constant terminal velocity. So it has entered terminal velocity already. So what kind of this gravitational potential energy is converted into kinetic energy of the air, of the parachute, of the C, potential energy is converted to thermal energy. And at the same time, no, C is actually out of point. Thermal energy of the parachute is also out of point. Converted to kinetic energy of the parachute of the what? Of the parachute of the air. The kinetic energy converted to this. Okay, that should be A. Is the air. Yeah, of the air. So the question says, if the variation of the length of this spring is given by this, what's the spring constant? It should be gradient, but it's going to be inverse of gradient because you can see lengths against this. If it were to be force, let's say it's the force against so K is the gradient straight then over J X. But here that's going to be inverse. So inverse of the gradient is going to be inverse of the gradient. Inverse of the gradient. So which will be, so inverse now is going to give me 2.4 is the gradient we're looking for. Okay, now 2.4 TM minus 0 is supposed to give me, okay, let me write it properly first. So it's going to give me 0.6 minus 0.2 over 2.4 minus 0. So inverse now is going to give me 2.4 over 0.4. So 2.4 over 0.4. So calculator says give you 6. Yeah, this okay, loading and unloading. That's what it means. Loading and unloading. So here at this particular point P, we have what is called at this point we have what is called deformation of cause. At this point we have elastic at that point. Before you even know what to do. Which statement is correct? Oh, option C. Option C. A uniform wire of length this and diameter. The wire is taken as area of a circle, that's diameter. So area is going to give you pi r square, which is pi d square over 4. So your modular is given as KL over A, length and area. So your modulus is giving spring constant. So we do that, I'm going to have KL divided by A is pi d square over 4. That's a 4 KL over pi d square. 4 KL over pi d square. Option D. We will come back to waves. Aircraft produces a sound of at a frequency of the speed is constant. This okay. The aircraft is directly in front of the stationary observer and train is moving straight towards towards or away. It can be towards or away. Okay. The observed frequency, the observer has the sound, hear the sound from the aircraft at a frequency of this. So that's what is observed. Observed is lesser than the frequency of the sound. That means moving away. If you're moving towards 20 to more than 30. So for observer to observe 20, it means that it's moving away. So what formula for moving away? Observe frequency is moving away means so that's all. Vs is speed of the source. That's Vs. That's moving away. Moving towards, you change it to minus, change it plus to minus, that's moving towards. So moving away. Solving this is what you observe. You observe 20. Speed of the sound is V 330. Then 330 plus we are looking for this. And the frequency of this is 30. Automatically is moving away because 20 is less than 30. It's moving away. So it's not B and it's not D. So solve this mathematically. So we can do this. So you can say 5 here is 4, 5 here is 6. So I'm looking for this. I'm going to say plot multiply means that I have for this. So I'm going to have uh, 4 times 330 plus 4 Vx is equal to 330 times 6. So from there, just look for Vs straight. So Vs is going to give you 330 bracket 6 minus 2. You can solve it the way you want, mathematics, but I just want to be faster by looking this very simple mathematics divided by 4. So that will give, that will give me 2, no, minus, this will be 4. So our factor, I've done this, that will be 2, that 1 over 2, just like 330 divided by 2. So it should be 165. 165. Now, which statement about longitudinal wave and transfer wave motion of a progressive wave is correct? All transverse wave and longitudinal waves require medium. No. Under transverse, only water requires material medium. Other example of transfer do not require material medium. So this is out of point. All transverse will travel at same speed. No. Or because electromagnetic waves are transverse wave. Magnetic wave, they have speed of light. Water is also example of transfer wave, and the speed of water is not the same as speed of light. So this is not correct. In both transverse wave, both transverse wave and rotational wave, a particle with zero displacement has the maximum speed. Of course, at zero displacement, we have maximum speed, maximum kinetic energy, zero restoring force, zero acceleration, zero potential energy. So that's all. So C is correct. D wave is a net moment at a point. Now the diagram shows a progressive transverse wave on a straight strain. Okay, at one is down, 1 point is on strain level X. Okay, phase different. Angle between 270. Oh, this is on 90, 270 different. So if 270 different from here to here 360. So this is 90. So 90 minus 3, that will be 270. So from here to here should be 270. So the answer is what is 270 divided. Okay, 2x, okay, that will be A. A is 270. We have which electromagnetic wavelengths? Oh, there's of visible light. Okay, for visible light, the range of frequency of visible light ranges from 700 nanometer to 400 nanometer. So that visible light, we call the Roy beef. So ranging between 700 to 400. This one is the red color. We don't know we know the first and the last. This is violet. So all of that ones, these, they are in between the value. So let's see. Nanometer, 7 is nanometer. Nanometer. Or we call it, or is a 7 exponential minus 9. 4 exponential minus, that should be minus 7. Nanometer. That should be minus 7. Minus 7. Minus 7. Yeah. 7 nanometer means minus 7. So automatically, so if you look at, if you are to even to disqualify from that, so automatically it can never be A or this or B. Why? Because exponential has affected it. You can see this and also this. It's out of point. So it can never be that this. So it's going to be between -7, -7. But look at it, 8 point something is outside the range. So 5.5 is within the range. So this is the answer. Polarized. All electromagnetic wave can polarized. All of them. So this one makes it impossible. It's not possible. Just out of all. This one is okay. It's okay. Radio wave, but sound wave has affected this as well. So infrared. This also has affected the sound wave. Cannot only be can polarized. One wave has an amplitude this, and second wave has an amplitude. Okay, maximum mean we have them together as a maximum, and the minimum mean you have to subtract. So 2a plus a over 2 should be 5a over 2. That's the maximum. Minimum 2a minus a over 2. That will give me 3a over 2. So the maximum 5a over 2 times 2 over 3a. So this will go 5 over 2. No, I use times divided by the, but if you are dividing, you change it to times. So that's why inverse 3a, inverse of you now give it 2 over a over 3. So we have the next number. The next number says, we have to first of all talk about this. This is 9 per millimeter. 9 per millimeter. It's not actual this. So that will give you 1 millimeter over 450. That's what this one means. So the same as 0.001 meter over 450. That's all. That's the. And don't forget we have T. The fraction operating sign is equal to what? N lambda. Second order. Second order means N is equal to 2. That's second order. So if you try to solve that there, you are looking for theta. So theta will give you arc sine the whole of this N lambda over D. So put in the value there. So over D, that means N lambda, N is 2. N is 2. Lambda is 680. Or minus nano, that's 9. Divided by this. If you do divided by this, 0.001 over 540. So press calculator for this and see what it's going to give. So calculator for this actually gave me 38. So it gives 38. This 31. Although tube is closed at one end. Okay, that's it's now become a closed pipe. The lower frequency, that's first one. That's fundamental frequency. That will be first one is going to be like this. And it occurs as, let's say this is the length. So this is going to give me length is equal to lambda over 4. So that's all. We are looking for the length. So look for lambda divided by 4. Speed is equal to F lambda. So speed So my lambda is 3 over 820. So divided by 4. So that means I'm going to have 3 over 820 divided by 4. That means times 1 over 4. So that's final answer for the calculator. So it gives 0.01 is in meter according to the unit. Convert to centimeter. 0.1, sorry, not 0.01. 0. So let me confirm that again. 330 divided by 820. 4, 0.1. So 0.1 meter. That's give me 10 centimeter. Which expression gives the value of the resistance? Okay, V is equal to IR. So resistance V over I. So voltage divided by current. Voltage divided by current C. Oh, this is a diode graph. That's a diode. This is a graph of diode straight. Not wasting our time. Now the drawing shows 6 identical resistors. They are identical, they have the same value. Okay, assuming that current is coming from here, from positive. So one passes here, another one comes here. Of course, it's not going to be the same thing. So let me call it I1 here, I2. I2 is greater than I1. Why? Because total resistance of this one is higher. Resistance of these two will be higher. So that means lower current will pass through this one. These two resistors is going to be higher than this one. So more current will flow through this one. So the current through this one is the same as this current here. But overall resistance of this is going to be less. If you do this parallel, if you have two, you have two, you have find it. You find the combined resistor that will be here. Something like something around this. It will be something around this place. It should be here. So it will be less than either of these. And the power loss had to do with I square. What controls power loss is the current. So the more current, the more the power lost, the more the power dissipated. So along PQ, lower current, so lesser power. The same thing will happen because the same thing at this is going to be the same thing. Why? Because they are going to be in series. It's going to be in series. So here you have higher current here, higher current across this, but resistance is going to be lower. So resistance of this is lower here, current is higher, same current for this and this. So same current for this one and this one, same current, but it's higher. So the answer is between this and this. For higher current, higher resistance. Resistance of this is going to be like half of this one. So more power loss is going to be between PS. Yeah, between PS or SPS. Yeah, more power loss. Higher current, higher resistance is also here. Though this one has higher resistance, but it's going to be lower current because of higher resistance. Yeah.
A lot, and you're like, okay, do you have a private tuition? Don't you have? Do you have? And yes, Ajiro Tech do have a private tuition. So by my right, you can see that we have for the EdExcel and Cambridge IGCSE, and yes, we do have for all subjects. Okay, all subjects. Okay, the popular ones that's always been in demand is mathematics, English language as a second language. Okay, we have physics, we have biology, we have chemistry, and we have um, you know the the flagship, which is ICT, just here and there. We also have business studies. So if you're interested for a private tuition, I think all you have to do is send an email to the sales team at ajiroTech@gmail.com, and they would reply to you, talk about your time zone, talk about, and the fees really quite affordable. Really, it's really quite affordable. It's when you look at it across other tutoring service, I think this is the one that's quite affordable, and you get the very best of service. We also have for the E levels as well, and also for the EdXL. So we have for the Cambridge E levels and EdXL E levels. Okay, and we have also across the subject mathematics, which is usually the hot cake when it comes to E level, mathematics and chemistry, and then biology. These are usually one of the ones we have in demand always, all the time, even physics, for E level. So all you have to do, if you're watching this right now and you are interested for a private tuition, then you can do yourself a solid, okay, and send an email to the sales team at ajiro@gmail.com, and they will reply to you.
So where the diagram contain this a fixed resistor, and then we have the timing store. Okay, the battery element. Don't forget that this is 12. So 12 is going to be this plus this. So addition of this VA plus VA, that will go to 12. So that will be equal to 12. So let's see the current here. Of course, it's going to be the same current. So current across this because in series. Let's start from the option now. Let me start from here. It's 0.36. If you look at 0.36 here, 0.36, that is 0. Okay, 0.242832 is here. This 36. So it's going to be middle of this one. Continue. It's going to also be middle of this one as well. Let's see this. What was the value of this? This is 4.2.4. Okay, 4.4, 4.8, 5.2, 5.4. Let's read this one out to as well. The current 6.4, 6.8, 6 point. This is 6.8. This is 6. Let me see. This 6.4. Oh, 6.2, 6.6, 6.6, because this is 6.4. This is middle half. 6.6. So 6.6, then 5.4. I think that's 12, but we don't need to go further. So that gives 12. Same current, so that will give you 12. Oh, normal formula to calculate it. This is normal formula. When I'm para, normal formula to calculate, 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2. So this is R1, 2, R2 plus R1. Find the inverse. R1, R2 over R1 plus R2 inverse. No waste time. When you have a graph of P against this, so let's see how they even get before we look at what to do. So let's see, E is equal to a capital V plus small letter v. This is loss fault. Capital V is terminal PD. So we can also have V as I small. So I want to plot V against R. So then I'm going to have V will give me E minus IR. So I can say V gives me minus, yeah, then this is I, this is plus V. So plotting this against this, that means the gradient is negative. Plotting this against this. So gradient is what? Minus internal resistance. The intercept here is what? Is the PD. Is the EMF. Intercept this. The EMF is 1.6 now, based on the graph. When current is 0, yeah, that's even correct. When current is 0, and of course, the intercept is what? minus this. So what do we do? So we are looking for internal resistance. So let's do for the gradient. Gradient is equal to this. So gradient is going to give me, normally that will give me at this point. So it's going to give me 1.6 minus 0.2 over, that will be 0 minus 70. That 70 is 0 point something. 70 divided by 1000 milli is 0.07 is equal to minus R. So whatever this one gives, so that's 1.4. That will now be minus 0.07 is equal to minus. So resistance will give us calculator. So calculator gives me 20. Fundamental particles. Fundamental particles are called example leptons. They are fundamental particles. Example, when you say quarks, also a fundamental particle. So leptons, example of leptons, we have positron, we have positron, we have this, beta plus. For leptons, we have this, we have electron, antineutrino, electron, neutrino, all these are leptons. So they are fundamental particles. Yeah, barons, no. Neutrino is okay. Neutrino, though, this one has affected this, so make it irrelevant. So this is out of the point. So mesos, this has affected this one. It's not leptons. So all and this affected this. Quarks, hadrons, okay. These are hadrons. This affected this. So this is correct answer. 39. 39. Which statement explains the alpha particle have discrete energy? Yeah, of course, but beta have rate of energy. They have rate of energy because other particles are emitted. And other particles are emitted. That's number one thing. That's why. Now, and that one happens when we have beta decay. Before we beta decay, so anyway, you see alpha decay is out of the point. Only energy alpha is out of the point. So between A and P, between A and C, beta particle is much smaller mass, alpha particle. You don't even want to see alpha particle at all. That would be better. So the option is C. So this has affected this, making relevant. 40. Okay. We have hadrons consist of three particles. Three particles can be up, down. Three particles, that's hadrons. Protons and neutrons are hadrons. Then we have what an anti-quarks. Okay, 3. So we have 2 over 3e. So we can have 3 of them. Are we going to get this? For anti-particle of this is going to give me 2 over minus 2 over 3e. That's anti of it. So if this is u, so this will give me anti-u. So that what means anti-particle minus. So if we work about this, or we also have another one, which is 1 over 3e. Antiparticle, this antiparticle of this is going to give me 1 over 3e. So let's see which one is going to give us the answer. If we work with this in terms of antiparticle now, this antiquark. So let's work with the three of them minus this 2 over 3e plus that will be minus now straightforward. Just so we're going to be minus 2 over 3e, another minus 2 over 3e. That's giving minus e. None of the option is minus e. So we cannot use that one. So let's use the second option, which is antiparticle of this is this. So this is the words and antiparticle of minus this one. So that's 1 over 3e plus 1 over 3e plus 1 over 3e. So that will give me 3e over e. So that will be plus e. Okay, this I think plus 1e. So that's all. So that's all for this audio number 1 to 40. So thanks for listening. Bye for now.